So I'm going to show you now how to get over an age-old problem, how to get rid of dirty plaster water. Once you've finished plastering and you've got a bucket of dirty water, the best way of getting rid of that.
Two things first.
Right, before I show you how to get rid of dirty water, I'm going to show you quickly how to mix a bucket of plaster really fast. And then, once you've done that, how to clean the bucket absolutely spotless in no time at all. It's quite important because when you're plastering, you can find yourself under pressure. So the last thing you want is to be going in slow motion when you're doing this. So I'm going to show you a quick way of doing it. First thing, when you're getting ready to mix, you need preparation. So get your plaster ready, get your washing out bucket ready with your bucket trowel, your washing out brush and a cloth. That's your washing out station. Your bucket that you're going to mix in, and then you need a gauging bucket. One of these full is about a bag of plaster. So tip that in there, nice clean water. Now let's start the timer. We are at 2:10.
Now, this isn't a race. I don't need to get confused and think this is all about going as fast as humanly possible and making a mess. I'm just showing you that it doesn't take 20 minutes to knock up a bag of plaster. When you're mixing, you'll see the plaster turn in on itself. As it's turning in, you'll see lumps in it. Just keep mixing till the lumps are gone, and that's it, done.
There you go, that's mixed up. That's all the consistency you want. That's took 2.5 minutes. Okay, so we've popped this little sealer on. And now I'll show you how to wash out quite efficiently. You can do this faster, but I'll just show you a fairly efficient way of doing it. Take your bag that you emptied out before, pop that down into your bucket. Now, notice the whisk is still dirty and the bucket's still dirty. Now, it's good practice to chuck the reveals on or, use this stuff up, but that's not always going to be the case for you. So I'm showing you worst case scenario. You've got stuff in the bottom of the bucket still. The way you want to do it, you just scrape it all to the bottom, like that first. Start at the front and just work your way to the back.
Try and get out as much plaster as possible. This way, it'll make less mess at the next step when you need to get rid of the dirty water.
Now, let's just have a look at the time. It's 3:03, so just watch it. I'm not going as fast as possible, but just how efficient you can be. First off, bucket trowel. Come round here, mate.
I always do things in the same order. Repetition builds muscle memory. Now what you want to do is go slow at first. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
That's that story. Now, what you want to do, take your water out your washing out bucket. This is just solely for washing out, nothing else. It's just a washing out bucket.
You can do this multiple times through the day. Even if you have 3 mixes, you can just keep reusing the same water and leave the dirty water bucket until the very end of the day. Notice I'm only washing the top of the bucket, I've washed the rim and I'm washing the top section and I haven't bothered with the bottom just yet. Go and grab the dirty whisk and now you're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
The whisk will wash the bottom of the bucket.
Once you've done this, don't leave that dirty water to settle in your nice clean mixing bucket. Get in all the little nooks and crannies in the whisk. Just be careful not to turn it on whilst you've got your hand in there.
You're going to take that, tip it straight out. Take your cloth. Done. Now, in a minute, we're going to leave that to settle now. We're going to finish this mix and then I'll show you how to get rid of the dirty water at the end. We're going to just leave that in the bucket and leave it to settle.
And that's it, all washed out in less than 60 seconds.
Little side note for you. If you end up with a dollop like that, whilst that big elephant poo is still wet, just leave it wherever it is. Don't try and move it around yet. I mean, you could with that, it's little, but last thing you want to do is pick that up and it all start falling off the sides. Okay, so just leave it till it's set. Okay, so now I'll show you the best way to get rid of this. It's been a little while, it's had a chance to settle. You can leave this till the very last thing of the day and use it to wash out all your water buckets and everything else, and you end up with just one bucket of dirty water. Once it's settled and all the sediment's gone to the bottom, this is what you do. Now, there's a few things that I don't want you to do, or I'd recommend you do not do. Don't tip it down the customer's toilet. Don't tip it down the customer's sink, ever, because even the water will leave a tiny little bit of grit. If it gets in the bottom of the toilet, for some reason when you flush it, you never ever get away, so just don't ever do that.
Well, not unless you want to have your hand down the customer's toilet.
Right, you've got the customer's back garden grid. Don't ever put it down there. It would be fine, but the thing is, most people's back garden grids are blocked, and if you're seen putting your dirty water down there, then they'll blame you for it, and then you'll have to have your arm down there, so don't ever put it down the grid. Here's your options. If there's some wasteland like this, you can take your bucket trowel. You can even do this in a flower bed. You can take your bucket trowel, you can dig, I mean this is rock hard so I've got no chance here. You can dig a little hole and you can tip the water off the top into the hole. We could potentially do it around the side here somewhere and it wouldn't make too much of a difference, but I'll show you what we usually end up having to do. The plaster water will do no damage to the plants whatsoever. Farmers spread gypsum on the fields as it's good for the soil. If there's a skip on the job, like that, look at that piled up. That's not our skip. Don't tip the water in the skip. Skips usually have holes in the bottom of them so they're filled with rainwater. And you'll tip it in there and it'll all be draining out the bottom over the tarmac. The thing about this water, if you get it on tarmac or anywhere and it dries, it's stained. So don't get it on tarmac. Don't tip it in skips and don't just lash it on the street.
Now, if you'd gone with option 1 to tip it in the soil, that's why I said to dig a hole, because you want to contain how far this water spreads. Anywhere it dries, it's going to dry and leave a white stain. If you're going to tip it down the grid, make sure you've got a clean bucket of water with you. It's important before you do this that you give the water enough time to settle as possible. You want all the sediment to stay at the bottom of the bucket and just a little bit of the murky water off the top to be going down the grid. No sediments.
Now, what you'll see there, the sediment at the bottom. Now we only had a tiny little mix, so that sediment's nothing. Usually by the end of the day, that'll be quite thick. When you get the sediment at the bottom, don't tip that down the grid. All that's gone down there is a bit of discoloured water. That's fine, these grids can handle it. There's literally a lot more dirt off the street that's going to end up down the grid than what's just gone out of that bucket. Any sediment that's left in the bucket, leave it in the bucket, put it away in your van, and then tomorrow morning when you get out, you'll be able to scoop it out and put it into an empty bag and you can start all over again. Like I said, now we're getting towards the end of the day, and what I've done, I've had the lad go and get the bucket, the washing out bucket from yesterday, and there's the sediment set in the bottom of the bucket from yesterday's washing out bucket, so we just rotate them. Now, what you're going to do is, the lump of plaster that we let go off before, just pick that off the bag. And that can now go inside. Like so. Now this is the stuff that you don't want going down the grid. You do not put this down the drain in the street, because if you start blocking grids and stuff, or if the council come along and have to unblock a grid and they find plaster in it, you're going to be in big trouble. So don't tip the sediment down the grid, only the water, the clean water off the top basically. Then you're going to get this, and just...
Now, be aware, when you tip that clean water, as I say, well, murky looking water down the grid in the street, there's always going to be a neighbour that thinks you're tipping plaster down the grid. The best way of describing it to them is, It's like washing a paintbrush out. You can't tip it anywhere else because it's going to stain. It needs to go down the drain or into a hole somewhere, but ultimately there's no plaster. All the plaster is going to stay in the bottom of the bucket, and it's just a little bit of murky water off the top that's going down the grid.
And then you give that a little swill out, fill it with water, and you're good to go again the next day. That's it, simple as that.
Hope that video makes life a little bit easier for you. Now, I want to ask you a question. Would you like to spend the day with me plastering? A plastering experience? If you would, go to the link in the description. I've teamed up with Liverpool School of Plastering, and in March we're going to be running a plastering experience where you come spend a day with me. We can work on techniques, different things, just basically have a bit of fun plastering. Afterwards, we're going to go to the pub, have something to eat and have a couple of pints. It's going to be a great day. If that sounds like something you'd fancy doing, at the Liverpool School of Plastering with me, click on the link in the description or go to kirkjohnstone.co.uk. See you on the next one, guys.